Revit Region Tutorial, Filled Regions. Hello and welcome to our new video. In today's video, we will talk about the filled region. There will be two videos about regions, one about filled regions, and in the next video, we will talk about masking regions. So let's begin. The filled region is a 2D annotation element that we use to display hatches, graphic fills, and to emphasize certain parts of drawings or details. A filled region is a view-specific element, which means it exists only in the view in which it is drawn and is not part of the 3D model. A filled region always lies in the view plane, so if we draw it in a floor plan, it lies in the plan. If we draw it in a section, it lies in the section. And if we draw it in a detail view, it lies in the detail. At the moment, we can see a section of a house, and we can see that there is a callout for this part: the foundation, wall, and roof. We will click on this callout. We can see that here we have a detailed drafting view, typical wall section. We can see that each of these elements is actually a filled region. Now we will open this tab, Level 1. So what is important to point out is that if the material is properly defined, and if the material has a defined cut pattern within the material, Revit will automatically display it in sections and details. We will now look at this with these two types of walls. We have this stacked wall and also a generic 300mm wall. So we can see that in the generic wall, we do not have any layers or any hatches, while in the stacked wall, we do have hatches. So the filled region is most commonly used when we want to add 2D graphics, meaning details that are not modeled, or when we want to additionally emphasize certain parts of a drawing. We will delete these two walls. The filled region is located under the Annotate tab in the Details section under Region. When we click on Region, we have a drop-down menu where we can choose Filled or Masking Region. We will select Filled Region. We can see what it says, that a filled region creates 2D graphics composed of a fill pattern and a boundary line. We will click on it to activate it. When we click it, we can see that line types open, meaning shape types with which we can draw, as in all tools where we draw with lines. Then we have line style, where we can choose one of the standard line styles that always exist in Revit. Next, we can set lines to be connected in a chain. If we do not want that, we will uncheck this box. We can also set an offset value, and we can enable radius and enter a radius value. Another thing we can choose is the type of filled region from the existing ones. We have diagonal crosshatch, diagonal down, diagonal up, horizontal, and so on. For now, we will leave this vertical. Now we will start drawing with lines. We will make it go 100 centimeters by 100 centimeters, and again 100 centimeters. We will not close this loop now, and we will try to accept it to see what happens. We get a message that the lines must be in a closed loop. So it must always be closed. We will click Continue and close this line and confirm it. We have now created the filled region. When we select the region, we can see grip points appearing, which we can use to change the shape and size of the region. So with them, we can increase or pull the region up and down. Wherever there is a grip point, we can use it to further modify the size of our filled region. Also, for an already created region, we can change its pattern. In Properties, it can be diagonal crosshatch, horizontal, and so on, all others as well. We will leave horizontal for now. If we want to edit this drawn region, we will click on it, and while it is selected, we go to Edit Boundary. Here we can change the shape into whatever we want. We will do that. We will move this line down to about the middle so that it looks a bit different from the original shape. Another thing we can do with a filled region is change line styles. So, one filled region can have several different line styles. We will try that now. For this line here, we will set it to invisible line. The right one we will set to medium line. The bottom line will be wide line. And the left one we will set to demolition line. We will now accept this and see how it looks. We can see that each side has a different line type. At the moment, thin lines are enabled. And this is how it looks when real line weights are enabled. We will turn thin lines back on because it is easier while drawing. Now we will create our own filled region type. When we select this existing one, we go to Edit Type and click Duplicate. We will name it New Filled Region. Click OK. For foreground filled pattern, we will leave this drafting pattern type, horizontal. For now it will stay. For foreground pattern color, we will choose something stronger, such as orange. For background filled pattern, we can see that nothing is selected, meaning it is set to none. Here we will choose solid fill. Click OK. And for background pattern color, we will choose this blue color. Click OK. For line weight, we will set 5. Regarding the masking option, we can see it is enabled. For now we will leave it and not touch it, and later we will return and explain what it means when masking is enabled or disabled. Click OK. We can see what we got and how our filled region looks. Now we will copy it. What we now want to show is the difference between drafting and model pattern. We will now select the second filled region that we previously copied. Go to Edit Type and Duplicate. We will name it New Filled Region Model Pattern. Click OK. And now instead of horizontal drafting pattern, we will click on Model. And here we will find 150 millimeters horizontal. Click OK, and we will leave everything else the same. Click OK. At first glance, they look identical. However, the difference between these two types is that the drafting pattern depends on the view scale and always looks the same on paper, while the model pattern uses real model dimensions, so its appearance changes when we change the view scale. Now we will see this in an example. If we now change from scale 150 to 110, we can see that the number of lines in the drafting pattern increases, while in the model pattern it stays the same. Also, if we change to 100, we can see that the drafting pattern lines become more sparse, while the model pattern remains the same. Likewise, when we select 200, let's see 1 to 5. The model pattern always stays the same, while drafting changes. We will return to 150 as it was. Now we go to our section where we started this video. We will zoom into the existing foundation. We go to Annotate, Filled Region, and we will select this new one we created, but Model Pattern. We will use pick lines and select the edges of this foundation. We confirm the input and we get our filled region. As we already mentioned, we can change the appearance of the filled region, and wherever we see grips, we can manipulate the shape. What we currently see is that we cannot see the foundation behind our filled region. The line we see here is actually just a grid, meaning we do not see the foundation behind. Now we will go back to Properties. To see what is masking, we will click on this new filled region, go to Edit Type, and Disable Masking. Click OK. We can now see what is happening. We can now see the foundation that was previously behind the filled region. We can also see orange lines crossing over the foundation, and this happens because when masking is disabled, the filled region no longer masks elements behind it, so the model and hatch can visually overlap, while the background fill does not mask elements behind the region. Now we will disable this foreground pattern to see what happens. Click on Edit Type. And for foreground fill pattern, we will choose none instead of solid. Click OK, and we can see that only the background remains, which is behind our model. This is because masking is disabled. We will now revert this change and re-enable masking. Click OK. So we have seen what masking is. For the next thing we will show, we first need to move this filled region. Like this. We will add a new filled region. Let's choose horizontal lines. We will draw it here. And move it slightly down. What we want to show is what happens when different visual style options are enabled. At the moment we are in hidden line, let us check what happens if we enable wireframe. When we enable wireframe, we can see that in the new pattern we added, we can see everything that is behind, while in the existing pattern, new filled region model pattern, we cannot see it. So in both cases, masking is the same, meaning it is not about masking. The reason is that this region has a background pattern color, while the horizontal lines do not have a background filled pattern, meaning in wireframe view a filled region without background fill will not visually hide elements behind it, while a region with background fill gives the impression of a solid surface. That is why when we enable wireframe, we can see everything behind the right filled pattern that was used to cover our foundation, while in this left, new filled region pattern, we cannot see what is behind because of the background fill color. We will return to hidden line, and we can see that when hidden line is enabled, since masking is enabled in both, we cannot see anything behind. Next thing we will show, we will slightly move the edges of this. We will draw a new pattern. Let's choose plywood vertical. We will draw it here in the middle and see what happens. At the moment, we can see that this filled region is in front of the two existing ones. What we want to show here is that filled region elements have a display order and can overlap each other. If we select this pattern, we can use bring to front, and it will come to the front. If we select another and click bring to front, it will also come to the front. We also have bring forward. Likewise, we can use send to back or send background, meaning it will move behind the last one that was brought to the front. We can adjust these settings depending on the project. We return to level 1. Actually, let's open a 3D view. It is important to note that the filled region does not exist in the 3D model, and we will not see it in any views except the one in which it was drawn. Filled region can be copied between compatible 2D views, but it cannot be displayed or used in 3D view. Back to level 1 again. When we select both filled regions, we can see in properties that they belong to the category of 2D detail, annotation elements. We can find them in the project browser under families, scroll to detail items, and under filled regions. There we can see the filled region patterns that we can use within the project. However, filled region is also used inside detail item families as a 2D component, and such a family is then loaded into the project. We will now do that. We go to File, New Family, and we need to choose metric detail item if we are using metric units, or English imperial detail item if using imperial units. We will go back because in this example we will use metric detail item. Click Open, and the reference level of the family opens. We will immediately change units to centimeters, since in this example we use centimeters. We go back to level 1, and we will measure this region in order to draw the same one. We can see that the bottom part is 267, left is 208, and right is 104. We will draw exactly the size. We will choose filled region, and we can see again in properties that we can select which one we want. We can see that our pattern is not there, so we will create it again. We click duplicate, name it new filled region family, and click OK. Instead of concrete, we will choose horizontal. We will leave drafting for now, and set everything else as before. Orange color, solid here, blue here. Click OK. Line weight is 5. Unlike in the project, in a detail item family, the masking option is not available for editing. Click OK. Now we will draw. We will draw inside the detail items subcategory where we have hidden lines, invisible lines, heavy lines, light lines, and medium lines. We can choose from them. We will leave it as it is. We will draw a line 208 long. then 267, then 104 upwards, and connect it. We confirm the model and get what we created. We will now save as family and name it new filled region family. Click Save. Another thing we can set is that when we select this filled region, in Properties under Graphics we have Visible checked, and we also have Visibility/Graphics overrides. When we click Edit, we can set in which level of detail this filled region will be visible. We can turn it off, for example, in Medium Detail level, meaning if the view is set to Medium Detail, this filled region will not be visible even though it exists in the view. Click Cancel. Now we will load it into the project. We will place it here and align it with the existing. We can see that visually they look the same. The two filled regions currently in the project can be edited, meaning we can stretch and move them freely, while the one that is a family cannot be stretched or reduced, it is fixed. If we want to modify it, we must go to Edit Family. We will delete these dimensions. We can see in the project browser that under Detail Items we had Filled Region, and inside it all filled regions in the project. But now the new family we created did not go under Filled Region, it is a separate family inside Detail Item. We can load these families into the project by dragging them from the project browser like this. Another way is to go to Annotate Component and select the component we need. At this moment, we will choose the new Filled Region family. Another thing, when we select a filled region, in Properties under Dimensions, we can see its area. For filled regions that are directly in the project, we can read the area in the Properties panel. The same applies to all regions currently in the project. When we select a family, we do not see area. We only see it when we go into Edit Family and select it there. Understanding filled regions is important because it allows us to control how we visually communicate details in our drawings. It helps us clearly separate elements, emphasize key parts, and improve the overall readability of documentation. We hope this tutorial helps you improve your Revit workflow. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tutorials.